Hello and welcome to the Joy Corner. I'm Carol DeChaine, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters. And in case you tuned in expecting to get an I am affirmation, I am changing the format a bit. And this is now little mini lessons that hopefully will be right around 10 minutes, maybe a little under, maybe a little over, depending on what if the subject really gets me going, then I might go a little over. So today I am doing making priorities. How do you make your priorities? Some people, they're going to go, why in the world are you doing that? This is a piece of cake. But other people are going to go, I have no clue how to do this. So how do you make priorities in your life? So many times we have so many things that stop us from doing what we want. Maybe we want to take a class or we want to do something in our life that would either help us or when you go to bed and you go, oh, I should have done this. I should have worked out. I should have taken that walk that I was going to take. I really wish that I had, like I said, signed up for that class or contacted this person I wanted to talk on the phone to. And you just don't do it. And lists are great for setting priorities because handwritten lists that people don't really use anymore. I mean, even doing a reminders on your phone are good. I use the little app that, at least on iPhones, it's a little yellow with handwriting underneath it. It looks like, and it looks like a yellow pad. And what you're doing is you're writing down, these are all the things. I do my grocery list on that. I do my to-dos on that when they're important. And just so I don't forget, because we have so many different areas of our lives nowadays. I mean, there's work, there's home stuff, there's if you have kids, there's friends, there's any activities you do. There are so many things, especially if you do have children and you have to pick them up from all their different activities. So, where are your priorities? Don't just let the world set them for you. Sometimes we have to. If you get fired or you get laid off, you might need to go look for a job, and that becomes your priority because you have no choice, but it's still a priority. So, where are you in your life? How does each thing look, and where do you want it to be? Where do you get them in your priority list? A lot of times, like if you're going to try dating or something because you're single and you're going, I kind of want to date. When is the time to do it? When do you have time? When will that person be a priority? Because a lot of times in relationships, we don't feel important to that person because they're too busy. They're working all the time, or they have all these other things they're doing. They're in meetings, they're whatever, and you don't feel like you're important to them. So the question is, where is your priorities? What do you want to do? So if you look at your list and you go, okay, these are the things I have to do, and you're going, I have to do them, but are they priorities? And do I really have to do them? Maybe I can give them to someone else to do, especially if you have kids. Maybe you don't have to clean the house. Maybe you let your children do parts of that. And that's how they get their allowance, at least in the olden days. That's what we did. That's the only time I got my allowance is if I did my chores. So you split them up. The things you don't want to do or don't have time to do, who's taking the garbage out? If I don't have to remind you, you get an extra, well, nowadays it would not be a quarter, but um, you, what do you need to do to set your priorities? It really helps for me to write things down. And you'll be surprised how many things there are. I need to pick this person up on this day, so maybe you do it by days of the week if you have specific priorities. This section is always taken by work. If you have a work, either at home or remotely or out. These are the amount of times I used to drive into the office. It took anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half. I was in the San Francisco Bay Area, and if the bridge got stuck, I would end up, it just took forever. And sometimes if there was an accident on the bridge, it might take 2 or 3 hours to go home. That was very rare, but it was unfortunate that it did happen. So, and that was before I did podcasts. So it was like, took forever. And you were just sitting there twiddling your thumbs going, I could be doing so many other things besides this. So if you look at things, who do you need to call? Who do you need to connect with? Look at every single thing that you have to do, and then make a list of all the things you wish you could do. You wish you could go get a massage more often, or maybe ever. You wish you could get a housekeeper because then you'd have more time. You wish that you had a car that ran better. How can that happen? You wish that your house was, I don't know, more attractive or more comfortable or more felt like a home or whatever it is. look at the things that you wish were there. Not like, I wish I had Prince Charming. Yeah, I get that. But I mean, what I wish, if you're single, that you wish you had time for dating. You wish you knew where to go. So look at all of those. It may be pages and pages, and figure out what you actually want to do of all the priorities. What do I need to do? A lot of times my priorities will be up to a certain date because I do theater. So up to a certain date, I need to learn my lines. I need to get ready for it. But there's 5 other things too. I need to get the YouTube videos done, um, and I want to do them before they're supposed to be going out that time. So look at it and figure out what works for you. What is it about your priorities that you don't really need to do and you think you do? Pay your bills. Yeah, you need to do that. But can you do it while you're relaxing and watching TV? Nowadays, you can, well, even before you'd write checks. And now you can get online and it doesn't take hardly any time at all. It could be one commercial. So if you still watch TV that has commercials. So look at each priority. And you can even put a number next to it and say, these I have to do. But find some time for the things that maybe should be priorities, connecting with your parents, with your mother, your father, your sibling, a favorite cousin, making more time for your spouse because you just don't have time because maybe you have 5 kids and you don't have time to do it. So look at what you should be doing that you actually want to do. These are priorities that haven't quite made it into this list yet. And then find a way to move some of these over to here. And maybe some of these you don't need to do. These I have tos may not be I have tos. They may be I can give them to someone else. I don't really need to do them. I just think I need to do them. I can set up automatic things to make them happen, especially when you're making payments. You can pay your bills automatically. Still check your money. Don't let it, because weird things happen to bank accounts when you're not looking. So, I mean, especially if anybody else has the rights to your bank account, keep checking. But do things that you can do for yourself out of that priority list. Don't make it just about other people. Get half an hour. Maybe you stay up later than everybody else because you have that half an hour bath. If you want a bubble bath, or you want to read, or you want to do whatever you want to do for you, find a way to carve out some time. If you can, I'm not a morning person, but if you were and you want to work out, and even if it's only that 6 minutes a day that I do, get up maybe a little extra early before you go to work. Get up and do the things that you need to do. Don't just shower and if you're lucky, you eat and you run out the door. Find ways to make it better for you so that those priorities make sense. And they're not just things that the universe has said, here, you have to do this. They're things that you actually go, wait, no, move that to maybe there's a third list of, I don't think I really have to do this or I don't want to do it. So what else can I do with that one to make that work? I've decided in my life that I no longer have an interest in cleaning my house unless it's something that I drop or, something that happens right this minute I need to take care of. So I have hired a housekeeper once a month because I just don't feel like doing it anymore and now I can afford it. So it's like the priority of cleaning the house is now gone because all I have to do is make sure I'm here when she's here. So happy, yay. And I've also, one of the other things I've done for myself is to make a priority to give myself a massage because I feel so much better. And it used to be once a month or when I could afford it. And now it's every 3 weeks. And I love it. And because I'm doing it for myself, it's a priority. There are certain things that will never make it into the priority column, even though you really wish they would. So you need to look and kind of balance it and figure out, is there a way to make, so once in a while, maybe every 6 months we'll stick it in there instead of, or if you want to clean your house out because it's time to spring clean and you just can't seem to get to it. So then you set aside a certain day of the week, even if it's just once a week for 20 minutes or half an hour, stick it in there. I'm going to do one drawer. I'm going to clean out one drawer. I'm going to clean out um, one closet. Well, not one closet, but like one section of the closet. I'm going to clean out whatever so that your house feels like it's in better shape for you. A lot of times we just get stuff. There's just stuff everywhere, especially if you have kids. It just piles up more and more and more. And there's times where you need to go through and purge. And it's hard sometimes because we don't want to let things go. But there are other things that are expired, that are, I mean, like old mail that you haven't gone through because you've been saving it thinking you might Jews, in the past it was always catalogs, but there's a bunch of stuff. For me now, it's donation things I get. Give to one person, I get 10 back. So sometimes I'll keep them when I feel like it's time to give donation. And sometimes there's this biggest stack because I haven't gotten around to kind of culling through it and going, now I have duplicates. Let's get rid of some of those. I don't need to do them. So there's a lot that you can do. And the junk drawers are one of the hardest things because you don't know what to do with the stuff, which is why it's there in the first place. But if they're old batteries, if they're things that you know you'll never use, there's always those things that you don't know what they are that you put in there. So whatever it is that you are looking at, you're making your priorities, find a way to fit the important ones in, not just the ones you feel the universe says you have to do or your family says you have to do. Find a way to decide what's important to you and shove some of those in there in that list. So hopefully this helps you look at your list of priorities and make it, first of all, and then figure out what really is what you want. And I hope that this has helped you to look at, and it's a way to make your life feel fuller and better, and not fuller and busier, fuller as in more contentment, more satisfaction of what's happening in your life. So until next time, thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Carol DeChaine, and this is the Joy Corner. If you like what you hear, do subscribe and click the bell notification if you want to know the next time that a video is put out there. And if you prefer the format of the I Am affirmations, comment and let me know, and I will add some more back in there. Until next time.